everybody, welcome back to the channel, Piano Practice Partner. We're on lesson 3 already. I hope you enjoyed the last lesson, that it all made sense and that you've enjoyed playing some more chords. Today we're going to be expanding on what we learnt last time and putting it into a structure to make our very first song, our first complete song. So stick around, that's going to be really exciting to learn one of the most famous songs in the world. If you haven't already done so, please consider subscribing. It'd really help the channel out. Also, if you comment down below things that are working for you, your wins of the week, anything you think you would like to look at in the future, what's maybe not so clear, I'll read all the comments and reply and build it into my workflow moving forward, because I want to make this channel as accessible as possible. I'm really new to the piano, as we both are, but I'm also new to the whole filming thing and the editing thing. And so if there's anything you really like about the content or the way it's shot or edited, if there's stuff you would suggest that would keep you more engaged, then please throw it my way, because like I say, I'm learning this stuff and sort of doing it all on the fly and building my knowledge and skill set as I go. So any pointers that you would really love, please drop them down below and I'll start building that into my workflow. But enough of all that. Let's recap what we learned last time. So in lesson 1, we learned our C major scale with the 8 notes all on the white keys. From there, we then learn our first chord, C major. We then learn F major. And we went between the two. Nice and easy. We also figured out that a major chord was comprised of the first note, the third note, and the 5th note of that scale. So in the C major scale, C, D, E, F, G, A, B, C, we could also express that as 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And so once we realized that, we could then find where the 1 was, where the 3 was, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So 1, 3, 5 made up the major scale. And then the 1, 3, 5 of F made up the major chord of F. So we're trying to break down not just the chord, but what goes into making up a chord. So then in lesson 2, we learned our G major. So then we had 3 chords to play with. C major, F major, and G major. We then learned our very first minor chord, which was A minor. And again, it was a very similar hand position to all the previous chords, but we figured out why it was a minor chord and not a major chord, even though the hand position is the same. And it was because of this 3rd note. In the A major scale, this isn't the 3rd. This black note here is the 3rd note in the A major scale. And so that's A major. But if we flatten the 3rd, so we take it 1 step down, it becomes a minor chord. And we proved that to ourselves by taking the C major chord, which we know, and then taking the 3rd note and flattening it, or take it 1 step down, becomes a minor chord. I know we're rushing through this. This is a recap. I think it's really useful just to consolidate what we learnt last time, refresh our memories so we know where we're at moving forwards. As all this is new information to us, the more we refresh and rehearse and solidify that, the more it will go into our muscle memory, into our brains, making those neural connections nice and strong. So forgive me if this is going over old ground, but I think it's got a real use to it moving forwards. And so we had C major, we had F major, we had G major, and we had A minor. Then we arranged them in a very particular manner. So rather than just playing up and down the sequence, we put them into an order. And that order, if you remember, let me find my slightly thicker pen. We've spoken about Roman numerals before and how they are of music. We've spoken about Roman numerals and how music is often arranged with these numerals. And we arrange the chords by playing the 1, the 5, the 6, and the 4. So let's refresh what I mean by that. Within the C major scale again, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, we'd play the first chord within that scale. So where's the 1? It's the C, so it's C major. And then the 5th was our G. And then the 6th, well, next door to the 5th, A minor. And then, sorry, I haven't been doing both hands. And then the 4th, the F major. So we started playing this sequence. And we spoke about how that's quite a ubiquitous musical phrase within pop music and modern music. And we spoke about the Axis of Awesome and how they do an amazing skit where they just cycle loads of songs which use this phrase. So we're going to expand upon this and learn one of the most popular songs or most recognized songs in music history, and that is Let It Be by the Beatles. I'm just going to wipe this off with this eraser. I did say in one of the videos, I think it was in the practice along of lesson 2, that I was going to get one of these, and true to my word, I have done so. So we're going to arrange these chords, and we know the beginning part. We just need to add a little bit more in order to complete the song. If you don't know the song, then please check it out. Let It Be by the Beatles is a very, very famous song. I'm sure you all know it. But if you don't, it's an easy Google or YouTube away. So let's begin with the verse. And it's just what we've been learning. By knowing that sequence, we already know a lot of Let It Be. But there's a little bit which we need to add on towards the end of the verse and to the chorus to make the complete song. So let's start with the verse. So the verse goes like this. It goes 1, 5, 6, 4, which is what we know and love already. 1, 5, 6, 4, and then we repeat part of it. 1, 5, and then this bit is new. We go 4, and we take a little run down to the C. So we're just going to play all the notes, all the white notes leading down to C. So we'll go. So I'll write that down underneath. That's our first part. And then we go 1, 5, 4. And then I'm going to put the word run. And then 1 again. So just this bottom line here goes 1, 5, 4, run, 1. So for that run, we're just playing the F major, and then we're playing the single notes of E, D, and then landing on the 1 again. So let's put that together, the top line and the bottom line. Top line goes 5, 6, 4, then bottom line 1, 5, 4, run, 1. So that's our verse. Nice and easy, just a little bit of an addition and 1 fewer chords. We don't head up to the 6 in the second line. And that's our verse. Now, the chorus. We already know everything we need to know about the chorus. We just changed the order a bit. So the chorus goes like this. It goes. What's that? That is the 6th chord. So let's write that down. 6. And then, what's that? That's our 5th chord. And then, what's that? That's our 4th chord. 1. So we're just working down the scale, it seems. So we're going 6, 5, 4, 1. And the next bit goes 1, 5, 4, run. And if we have our eyes and ears open, we'll realize that it's just a repeat of this middle line. So I'll write it down just for clarity. 1, 5, 4, run, 1. I have some different coloured pens over here, so I have to put a little line between the verse and the chorus right there, twixt the two. So the chorus all together goes, we start at the 6, 6, 5, 4, 1, 1, 5, 4. There we have it. There's the chorus. We now know all of Let It Be. We know one of the most popular and famous songs in music history. We've learned just like that in 3 lessons. And we understand not just like where to place the hand. We understand why it is that way, hopefully. It's so exciting. It's no longer a mystery. Music, we're discovering music together. I promise I won't get too excited again this week. I got very excited last week. Nice and calm this week. So why don't we play the verse into the chorus? And I'll talk it through as I play. So, ready? Here we go. 1, 5, 6, 4. 1, 5, 4, run, 1. And into chorus. 6, 5, 4, 1, 1, 5, 4, run, 1. There you have it. There's Let It Be all together. I won't subject you to my singing, but obviously if you feel compelled to, you can now start to sing along to Let It Be. Or you could whip this out at the next family Christmas and let your drunk uncles and aunts sing along. You'll be the talk of the town. Really cool. Well done, everybody. So, a few things to just dissect and delve into, because we've done the bulk of the lesson now. It's just getting that under our fingers. So, here's some helpful tips and tricks. So, in practice session 2, or practice along 2 for lesson 2, I did this. I wrote on my keyboard, which is something I hadn't really shared within the lesson itself. But if you've got a whiteboard marker, don't do this with permanent marker, obviously. But if you're still struggling to understand where we are on the keyboard, we've been trying to orientate ourselves from this C, because we can see the 2 black notes, they kind of stand out, separate from the 3. So if we know where those are and just move 1 down, we can always find our C. And then hopefully from there, if we've done enough repetition, we know that C, D, E, F, G, A, B, C. So we can work out where F is from C, or B is from C because it's 1 down. You'll find your own way of figuring that out. But if that's still a bit of a struggle, there's nothing stopping you from getting a whiteboard marker and just writing the notes on the keys to help you go from and knowing where that is very instantly. And once you get a bit more used to that, you can then just take them off, or take a few of them off if you just still want a reference point for the ones that are still a bit hazy. And if you don't have a whiteboard marker to hand, very simply, all you can do is you can get a piece of paper, write the notes on a piece of paper, cut them out, and then sellotape them on top of the keys. And just leave them there until you feel comfortable and competent enough to know exactly where you are on the keyboard. Hopefully that's a good little tip. So actually, I'm gonna write these back on just so we can see where they are. I'm gonna write them quite high as well, so I don't accidentally smudge them off. A, B, C. So hopefully at least this way, when I'm saying 1, 5, 4, you can also go, oh, C, G, A, F, and know where I am. The other thing to mention is occasionally I've been playing the root notes just with 1 finger. And that works well for us, but there's a lot of movement having to go up and down when you're working in this method. So if you're not already doing so, why not have a little play with what happens if you just leave your hand spread across this entire section? You could play the C with your pinky finger, the G with your index finger, the A with your thumb, and the F with your middle finger. So instead of having to jump up and down, as your right hand is having to do the same, there's quite a lot to concentrate on then, both moving like this. You could leave this one just positioned quite nicely, and then just focus on your right hand, be the one that jumps up and down. So see now how my left hand is nice and stationary. So hopefully that gives you a bit more time to focus on where your right hand goes. Fantastic. So the next step for this song is once we get used to the movement of it, where we're going. Maybe already you've added this right hand playing the chord twice, just to get a bit more motion. We can also do a similar thing with the left hand. We're not learning any new notes, we're just playing multiple versions of that note. So rather than just going the C, the G, the A, the F, we could try something like C, C, G, G, A, F, C, C, G, G, F, E, D, F. So together with the right hand, I'll take it nice and slowly. That would sound something like this. You hear how it gives a bit of propulsion into the next chord. So we're playing the right hand, we're playing the chord twice, and we'll just break down what happens. So we're playing the root note and the chord at the same time to begin with. So, and then we're playing the right hand again. And then between us moving and hitting the next chord, we're putting another bass note to then join together on the next chord. So let's just do that really slowly. So we're going, I'm now using this just so you can really see, but I would still suggest keeping your hand fixed. So we're going, make sense? So we're going together, chord, bass, chord, chord, bass, chord, chord, bass, chord, 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 bass, chord, chord, bass, chord, little run down. And I think what that does, it just gives us a bit more movement and motion with the song. And then we can add it to the chorus. You'll notice that I didn't do it for every single one as well. So between the one here and the one here. So I went from it was a way of just giving a little hiatus, a little bit of tension, I suppose. And you can feel free to vary that however you see fit, whatever works for you, whatever feels good. Have a play around with different bass patterns. It's a nice way to be creative on top of what we're learning together and putting your own flavor and style on it. Fantastic. So we have Let It Be. This is our structure for Let It Be. You can take a little snapshot if you like and just get practicing, get really comfortable with that. Now the next step of this lesson is to have a little play. This is hopefully what we're aiming towards and why we're doing it. We don't want to just learn rigidly music. We want to be able to understand music so then we can have some fun with it, right? So let's have a bit of fun. The next part of the lesson is just getting comfortable enough with these chords and playing around with what happens if I do this. Just using the C major, the F major, the G major, and the A minor. Play with a few different combinations. So you can use this as a bass if you want, or just completely scrap this and just go. I'm going to start on my G major, and maybe I'm going to go. That's the beginning of something, right? That's probably a song already in existence somewhere. As we know, so many of them are made up of this sort of chords and sequence. So have a little play. And just get used to what these chords feel like moving between the two. And see if you can just come up with your own little thing. You know, it can be messy. I was hitting some bum notes there. But just having a little explore. What happens if I play this really slow? Oh, that feels different, doesn't it? It's still the C major chord, but still C major. Just putting an octave in the bass and then the C higher up. Then I'm going to go to my F. That's just the C, the F, and the G. Just I'm playing with some octaves there. Have a little explore and experiment and see what you can come up with. Be really curious about the combinations of sounds. What happens if you try and play a little bit staccato? So this is nice and quick and a bit faster. Or what happens if you play a little bit slower? We've learned all of this stuff. This isn't new information. All we're taking is the chords that we know and playing them a bit faster, a bit slower. Instead of playing the chord together, then I was just maybe just pressing the fingers at slightly different times. We'll get into the nitty-gritties of rhythmically what that is, but for now, it doesn't really matter as long as it sounds kind of fun and nice. Have a little experiment. So the rest of your practice time after this lesson is just getting to grips with Let It Be and then having a little play, making up your own sequence and maybe writing your own song. Lesson 3, we're already writing our own music. How fun. So there's our lesson, nice and easy. We've learned our first song and it's one of the most famous songs in the world. So the practice session that's coming up soon will be just breaking down some dedicated time to learning Let It Be, and then also some dedicated time to let us have a little play and make our own music. How exciting that we're on lesson 3 and already we're getting to play and create our own stuff. It's super exciting to be learning this instrument with you. Thank you so much for joining. Remember to subscribe if you're not already subscribed, to leave a little comment below. Let me know what you would like to focus on in the future. If there's any things you would like me to address or something that didn't make sense, please drop it down below and I'll get to that next time. But in the meantime, enjoy practicing, enjoy making music, and I'll see you for lesson 4 next week.